The MSRP of Flo by Moen is $499. The MSRP of Phyn Plus is $699. So the difference between these two units is $200, and Phyn Plus is clearly a more premium device. Or is it? It depends. I'm going to say up front, while I'm doing a comparison specifically between Phyn Plus and Flo by Moen because I have personal experience with these two systems, the ideas I'm presenting apply to whatever water monitor system you are considering. This video will also help you define extra comparison criteria to help make the best decision for your specific situation. With some of these, it's definitely better to know upfront before you hit that buy button. Number 1. Do you need to modify the design of your current plumbing system to get the desired results? I'm not just talking about reconfiguring your incoming water service line for the unit. That is a given for all water monitor and shutoff systems, unless you happen to have enough space already. I'm talking about how happy you will be looking at your event log in the app, which may be dependent on how your plumbing is set up. First, do you have a closed or open plumbing system? A closed plumbing system has a backflow prevention assembly that stops the water from your plumbing system from feeding back into the water supply source. Plumbing code also requires expansion tanks to help with thermal expansion from a storage water heater. These additional devices are important to minimize damage to pipes, appliances, and fixtures resulting from increased water pressure created by thermal expansion. In comparison, an open plumbing system allows for the water in your plumbing to move back and forth without any additional obstacles. For instance, when your tank water heater turns on, the hot water expands in volume and pushes back into the city supply. The same can be said for all of your neighbors. The back pressure from their tank water heaters gets pushed into your plumbing. Second, what is your goal for the event history log for either device? We're talking about how Flo and Phyn Plus work and why the differences in their design causes changes in the resulting event log based on a closed versus open plumbing system. Flo by Moen and Uponor's Phyn Plus are both excellent smart water monitoring devices with some similarities and differences. They both give you the temperature, pressure, flow rate, and event logs. One of the primary differences is how they measure water usage. Flo uses a freewheeling turbine. Phyn uses ultrasonic monitoring with no moving parts. If you have a closed plumbing system, again meaning you have some kind of backflow preventer, both Flo and Phyn will give you an event log with little to no false positives. The water system is contained. Your event log should be solid without a lot of noise. This changes if you have an open system. If you want to use the event log and see how much you're using for different fixtures with Flo by Moen, you will probably have to create a closed system to make Flo give you the event history you desire. Flo's turbine design appears to pick up on all movement in an open plumbing system, from your neighbor's water heater pushing water back into the water supply system as it heats water, to your system contracting, absorbing the water into your system. It may even detect water hammer caused by increased usage nearby. The turbine and its sensor will pick it up and log it if it's large enough. I personally do not like that noise in my data. It was difficult to wade through the data to get to the actual events and correctly categorize them. While small, the extra events are included in the fixture totals. This is also important to know ahead of time so you're not concerned about a leak when you first install the unit. Just run a manual health check and call it good if it passes. You may want to get a cheap water pressure gauge to verify this kind of behavior is present in your house ahead of time. This is a WiseCam time-lapse on my plumbing system, along with a random sampling of pressure displayed in the Phyn and Flo apps. You can see how an open system has a lot of movement. If you do not want the clutter in your event log, but you currently have an open system, you may need to make it a closed system. You'll have to install some kind of backflow preventer and an expansion tank if you have a tank water heater to stop this constant activity. These additional plumbing parts come with some additional maintenance. In my case, the city requires a permit to install a backflow preventer, along with possible city regulation and a yearly maintenance check from a city-approved backflow assembly tester. This is based on my local city building codes. Make sure to check in with your local building authority, and if you hire a professional for the installation, make sure they're up to date as well. Additional visits by a plumber leaving out a code requirement device for your newly closed system can become costly in more than one way. For instance, you'll pay for the base service call fee for every separate visit. In contrast, Phyn Plus uses an ultrasonic flow sensor and pairs that activity with a pressure sensor. Events are only logged when the two match. This approach to water monitoring seems to indicate that data accuracy may not be as affected by back and forth water flow from thermal expansion and downline pressure events feeding into your system. In other words, you get the same clean event log from Phyn regardless of if you have a closed or open system. It works great both ways. If you are less concerned about tracking your usage, you can ignore all the false positives from Flo and use it for its primary job, making sure a catastrophic or smaller leak is discovered and addressed. Cost number 2. Do you need to make electrical changes? Both Flo by Moen and Uponor's Phyn Plus require AC power and have slightly different ways of approaching getting power to their respective units. Flo by Moen has a detachable 10-foot AC adapter cable that can be lengthened with 20-foot low-voltage cables. You can daisy chain up to 4 of these cables at $20 each. Phyn Plus has the AC adapter on the back of the unit. The AC adapter hooks on to the back. The cable is just under 15 feet and may be even shorter depending on which way you have to install it. If you don't have an outlet nearby, you'll have to either install one yourself or hire an electrician. If your water monitor will be installed inside, you are probably fine. Probably. The 2017 National Electric Code dictates there must be an outlet every 12 feet. That measurement is not as the crow flies, but if you are running a tape measure along a wall, making a turn, and then reaching 12 feet, the rule is a linear measurement along walls. Older homes may not have outlets conforming to the current code, and you may have to add one. If your unit is installed outside, it gets interesting. First, you have to have a weatherproof while-in-use outlet cover. As I covered how to install in this past video. If you have a newer home, you are likely to have more outlet options outside than an older home. Still, you may have to install an additional outlet for Phyn Plus. We tried both ways respectively. With Flo, we opted for the low voltage cords because their extension option was less expensive and faster. For Phyn, we updated an existing outdoor line. We brought it up to current code and moved the newly properly protected outdoor GFCI outlet closer to our Phyn installation. I don't know how much that will run for you since we ran the new line ourselves, and there will be a follow-on video on how we did it. Cost number 3. Is the location of your install going to eat through units? Most places will probably be fine for either unit, outside or inside, except if you live in extreme environments. For example, if you live in the Sonoran Desert where most of us have our water riser baking outside, right now I can say that my setup is ill-suited for Flo because of the heat and UV here. The environment ate through 4 of them in a year and a half. I can't say how Phyn Plus will do here in the summer. So there's your teaser to subscribe to the channel for an update after the summer. What I can say is Phyn Plus is ruggedized to halt military standard 810G for heat, UV, cold, and humidity. I have no idea how these units would last in a high humidity or constantly wet environment. If you do have experience with one of those situations, please add a comment below. If it is outside, you do have to include it with your protective measures when a freeze comes through, just as you do for the rest of your exposed plumbing. My husband and I have some ideas for a solution for our type of environment, which we've discussed with other builders and tradesmen we trust. But I will share that later after our current testing of Phyn for an apples-to-apples comparison to Flo. Cost-wise, if it's outside of the warranty, you'll have to buy a new unit. The good news is that a swap is extremely easy and you don't have to hire a plumber. If you can open up a jar of peanut butter, you can do this with the help of channel locks. I like to prevent marking up the couplings from the channel locks with a protective cloth. If you aren't comfortable doing a swap, hiring a plumber is an additional cost. As for minimizing the cost of replacement units, there are extended warranties available, which is the next point. Cost number 4. the price of extended warranties, insurance deductible coverage, and customer support. Flo by Moen and Phyn Plus are both very confident in their products and their ability to protect your home. They offer generous warranties and solid customer support when you have questions and need help. They also offer extended warranty plans. These additional warranties are based on installation method for Phyn Plus and a subscription service for Flo by Moen. Uponor's Phyn Plus water monitor comes with a 2-year warranty. If you want an additional year of warranty along with $3,000 of deductible coverage, you have to go through the Uponor Pro Squad to buy and have your unit installed. It may or may not be more than buying it and having your preferred plumber install it, but these additional extended warranty benefits may outweigh using your regular plumber. If not, ask them to join. Flo by Moen's water monitor comes with a 1-year warranty out of the box. If you'd like an additional 4 years of coverage and the $5,000 insurance deductible coverage offered in the Flo Protect plan, you're looking at an additional $5 a month. 5 years later, that totals $300. But at the break-even 3-year mark in comparison to an Uponor Pro Squad install, you're looking at $180 in subscription fees. Flo by Moen extends the Flo Protect plan to DIYers intent on installing the device themselves. When it comes to deductible coverage, it only covers up to your specific deductible or the maximum stated, whichever is lower. Also, each company has their own requirements for the coverage to apply, such as what the settings are set to in the app. As a little preview for my comparison video coming up between Phyn Plus and Flo by Moen, I will say that the customer service from both companies has been excellent. I'm still enrolled in the Flo Protect plan since Flo sent a 5th unit to another location to keep this long-term review going in a more hospitable environment. Cost number 5. Does your homeowner's insurance give you a discount for either of these units? Having either Phyn Plus or Flo by Moen will ultimately help your bottom line. The obvious help is stopping water damage, but you may also save on your homeowner's insurance premiums as well. Flo by Moen and Uponor's Phyn Plus will generate a letter stating you have a unit installed on your home for you to provide your homeowner's insurance carrier. Providing these letters showing proof of installation and active water monitoring may entitle you to a discount on your home insurance premium. These premium reductions continue as long as you keep a device installed and working on your home. Every year, not just one time. Definitely check with your insurance carrier. Reduced home insurance premiums may significantly outweigh most of these other costs or additional extended warranty fees. Cost number 6, comparison shop. The MSRP is just the MSRP. When you are ready to get either Flo by Moen or Uponor's Phyn Plus, you may be able to catch a deal on their websites, other online retailers, or through a friend or family member who has one. If you are of a similar DIY mindset or have a preferred plumber not affiliated with the Uponor Pro Squad, I have a discount code in the description for Phyn Plus. If I see a deal, I'll also be updating the description from time to time. There are other costs involved in adding a water monitor beyond just getting a unit, and some costs are shared across all whole house water monitor installs, such as hiring a plumber to install the device. Depending on the design of the unit, the minerals in your water, and other unforeseen factors, replacement could be a long-range cost on any unit. As you can see, all of this is really dependent on your unique situation. And when choosing between Phyn Plus or Flo by Moen, there's a lot more to consider than just choosing the device with the lower price tag. Is Uponor's Phyn Plus really a premium unit in comparison to Flo by Moen? Maybe it's a lot more affordable or more expensive than you think. If you have any additional costs to add from your own experience, please add them in the comments so we can all learn together. You can check out my past videos on these systems and stay tuned for a follow-on video showing you all the differences between these two units. I'll also be sharing experiments on how they catch leaks in comparison to other methods in the plumbing industry. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next Friday.